Hello, ma'am. This is Rakesh, 20 BCS 0154. Uh, I belongs to School of Information Technology and Engineering, VIT Vellore campus. In this video, I am going to take my seminar presentation here. So, my seminar topic is security attack. So, before entering into the topic, let's see some meanings of security attacks here. So what is security attack? Security attack is nothing but is an unauthorized attempt to steal or damage or expose or hack some data from an information system. So attacks are typically categorized based on the action performed by the attacker here. So we'll see and detailed explanations about the security attacks with some real-time examples as well. So without wasting time, let's move on to the topic. So what are the outcomes? Outcomes is nothing but after completion of this video, what we will learn from this, that and all I have mentioned in this slide. Actually, what we will learn is security attacks and its types, and then we'll see how sender transfer a message without any hacks in between the sender to receiver here, and then the receiver side as well. How receiver gets get the actual message from the sender without any hacks in between sender to receiver, without any hacks, how receiver gets the actual message. And then we'll see how the hackers are performing in between the sender to receiver here. In this slide, I have mentioned what are the types of security attacks. First attack is passive attacks. So what are the branches of passive attacks? Is first branch is release of message content. Second one is traffic analysis. And then the branches of active attack is masquerade in active attack, replay in active attack, and then modification of active attack, denial of service in active attack. Uh, then the first branch of passive attack is a traffic analysis in passive attack. Just consider this scenario as a receiver Bob will be here, sorry, as a sender Bob will be here, and then as a receiver Alice will be here, and then in between sender to receiver there will be some internet, and then the hacker or attacker will be there. Just consider this scenario. Actually, the scenario is Bob sends some message to Alice, like we will meet at 9 p.m. But whatever the message sends by the Bob to the receiver, but the Alice as a receiver, he won't get the messages as it is, because Bob was encrypted the message which he sends to Alice. So the encrypted message only can view with the help of key only, but the attacker can also predict the location of the message, and then the identity of the message, length of the message, even a frequency of the message also attacker can know that, but attacker cannot know the actual message which Bob sends to Alice, but he know the nature of the communications here. This is the scenario about the traffic analysis in passive attack. So in this slide, I have mentioned the masquerade in active attack. Just consider the scenario as like as before slide. Bob will be here, and then the Alice will be here. In between the sender to receiver, some internet, and then the attacker will be here. Actually, the scenario is attacker sends some message to Alice like we will meet at 9 p.m. to confuse the receiver, because the scenario is Bob, there is no interaction from Bob's side. There is no interaction from Bob's side, but the action was done by the attacker only, because attacker sends a message to Alice to confuse the receiver, because just see here, Alice can't know the action was done by the attacker. Yes, there is no interaction from the Bob side, but the interaction occurs from the attacker side only. For what? To receiver the sorry, to confuse the receiver. So this is the scenario takes place in a masquerade in active attack. Let's move to the next slide. Replay in active attack. Just consider the scenario as like as before. The Bob will be here, Alice will be here. Actually, the scenario is whatever the message sent by the Bob, that will subsequently transmitted by the attacker. Attacker capture the message from Bob, later reply message to the Alice. Later attacker reply to the Alice here. This is the scenario. in reply in active attack. And then modification of message in active attack. Just consider this scenario. Actually, the scenario is a message will be modified by the attacker, which is transmitted by Bob to Alice. Actually, the scenario is Bob sends a message to Alice, but in between the attacker makes some modifications on that message to confuse the receiver here. The message will be modified by attacker, which is transmitted by Bob to Alice. Bob's message is, for example, Bob's message is meeting at 9 p.m. means, but the attacker done some modifications like meeting at 9 a.m. to confuse the receiver. So this is the scenario takes place in modifications of message in active attack. Let's move to the next slide. Next slide is denial of service in active attack. Actually, the scenario is attacker will give more pressure to the server to reject the request from the Bob side. Actually, the action is Bob will not get a service from the server side. Actually, sorry guys, I made a mistake here. This is about server side. Instead of this service, I made a mistake. Actually, the action is Bob will not get a service from the server side because the server is busy on attacker side to transforming the more messages to the Alice. Actually, Bob wants to send some message to Alice, but internet does not suppose to the does not response to the Bob side because attacker is giving more pressure to the internet side because he is having more information to send to the Alice. So internet are not supported to Bob here. This is the scenario. Let's move on to the next slide. What it is means, let's see a difference between an active attack and in the passive attack. Active attack means is nothing but in active attack modifications in information that takes place, whereas in passive attack no modification will be there. Then active attack danger for integrity and availability, whereas in passive attack danger for confidentiality. uh, in active attack attention is on detection, whereas in this attention is on prevention. In active attack uh, due to active attack system is always damaged, but whereas in this case there is no any harm to the system in passive attack. And then system resources can be changed in active attack, whereas in passive attack system resources cannot changed. So these are the main difference in between active and passive attacks. So thank you guys, thank you.